Hello, today I would like to show you my reverse engineer toolset. The programs I use all the time. So let's start from the left upper corner. The first three icons are typically for any Windows, computer network recycle bin. The next is Beyond Compare. I use this tool to compare a text, a large listing, usually which listing that I get from tracing the code. For shorter listing, I just use any website, but for longer listings, this tool Beyond Compare is very useful. So the next is Cam Studio. This program I used to record videos, but now I switch to OBS Studio. The next is Demon tool. When we have a program that has extension ISO, for example, to emulate that program, launch them, we have to use Demol tool or Alcohol 120 or Power ISO. Currently I use Demon tool or Power ISO. I think they are the most popular. The next, Google Chrome, a browser. The next is instruction how to register Power ISO. The next is a screenshot of the most popular DLLs. The next, Enigma protector itself. The next, Slick Edit Pro. This is very handy to manipulate text. I use this tool sometimes instead of Notepad++. The next is PatchGuard. I use this tool to patch Windows operating system, because after that I can use Titan Hide that let me run PatchGuard, let me run Titan Hide, and Titan Hide help hide debugger from anti-debug. The next is Notepad++. As I said, I use this tool very often, even more than Slick Edit. Notepad++ has also rec expression, so this is very handy. The next is Flash Player. To launch SWF videos. The next is just assembly. I use this tool to compare .NET programs to see difference between them. The next is HXD Hex Explorer. I use this tool all the time. I switch to this tool from Hex Explorer. The XHD Hex Editor has more option than Hex Explorer. Here you have this Hex Explorer, but I almost forget about it. HXD make a very good work and is sufficient for most of the tasks. Here is universal import fixer. When protector slice address of imports in shattered them in all memory, we can collect them into one place, and that's what universal import fixer make. After universal import fixer, we can use program called Scylla or Impreg to get import table address back. The next is Enigma protectors folder, which where I hold my Enigma protectors. Below is Abel loader generator, but I don't use it anymore. Here is AS Protect unpacking tutorial. Here assembler loader to create loader for x62 x32 programs. Here is Bimax patcher tool. This program create loaders, and I use this. I switch to this program, and I think I don't even use any else more. This Bimax tool is good enough for the most of tasks. Here is Bimax tool again, but the first one was for 64 targets, and this one is for 32 targets. Here is something more related with Bimax. Here is Cracker tool. I use this for translate hex value to decimal and decimal to hex, but for these tasks is Windows calculator good enough. The next is DAP loader to create loaders. Here is download files which I hold download files from internet. Here is then spy. I use this tool to debug and decompile .NET files. Here is die tool to identify protectors. When we have exe file protected by something, this tool shows us exactly which protector was used. DD is Delphi decompiler. It's pretty old, but I often use that tool. Here I hold debuggers. Here debuggers with plugin, with Python plugin, DE for dot. This tool is used to deobfuscate programs, protected programs, .NET programs. And here is Lenatut tutorials. And I found this hair tutorials a long time ago. They are created in 2006 and 7. So we can say they are very old, but I recommend hair tutorials to any beginner. Here I hold only DBG plugins. Here Enigma protector decompiler. Here exe info to see which protector was used. Same. This is same program, similar program as die or protector ID, which you can see here. Here is again Bimax loader. Here is Ghidra, my projects, and here Ghidra the compiler itself. Disassembler. This Ghidra disassembler was created by NSA, and this tool is completely free. You can download it without any cost. Here is Idaficator tutorial. Idaficator is a plugin to OliDBG which extend functionality of Oli. Here is Impre constructor. This tool recreate import table for x32 programs. This tool is used while unpacking. Here are installers of most popular exe protectors. Here is OliDBG debugger. Here is OliDBG debugger without plugins. Here again, OliDBG with configured by me to prevent from anti-debug. Here is IDA Pro. I think I don't have to introduce you this software. This is disassembler for reverse engineering that every reverser know. Here is default program editor. I use this tool to bind program XHD. As you can see here, I bind this program with any extension. So I can now, for example, open exe file in this HXD program using right click and select from context menu. So this is mean that not only with exe file but also with txt file. You can see also here. Or even image, PNG. We can also open in HXD file. Okay, the next is ndepend. It shows us dependencies. The next is Lord PE Deluxe. This tool I used to use when I want delete a section or add, or make any other changes in PE. But now I switch from Lord PE to CFF Explorer. This one, because the CFF Explorer is more user friendly and has less bugs than Lord PE. You can Lord PE, I can say, is very low level program. The next is PS Studio. I use this program to see indicators that program is a virus, is a malware. The next is tutorial for unpacking PE-lock. The next, OliDBG configured particularly for Enigma protector. The next program is not related with reverse engineering. PE Anatomist is a PE editor. I sometimes use that instead of CF Explorer. But as I said, my main choice is CFF Explorer. The next PE Bear. Again PE editor created by Hersher Zaid. This one is for 64 targets, below PE Bear for X32 targets. Here programs protected by PE-lock. Here PE-lock unpacking tutorial. Here very old ExeProtector PE spin. Here quick unpack. This is unpacker which only works with older protectors. Here only advanced manual, a manual for plugin for OliDBG. Here is process monitor. When I want to see which changes process make in registry on, or which files created or delete, I use this tool. Here Process Explorer list all the executed launched process in system. Here is tutorial for malware analyst. Here is pointer focus. I use this program when recording video, for example, just right now. This tool create a yellow circle around cursor. Here are plugins for impreg, import reconstructor. Here are files for keygen written in MASM. Here is wannabe UIF created by Smiling Wolf. This tool do exactly the same as universal import fixer, but universal import fixer is for 32 x32 targets, and Smiling Wolf tool is for 64 x64 targets. The next is Yara. This tool is used to create patterns, signatures of files. This is very often used by malware analysts. Here is protection ID to see which protector was used during protection a file. Here MASM editor. Here I create my program written in ASM, in assembly. Here quick unpack, same as here, but this one is for 64 targets. This help us unpack simple protectors. Here risk process patcher to create loaders, but as I said, I use only Bimax now. RDG packer detector, similar program to protection ID. Regshot to see changes in registry that some program made. We create first snapshot using this tool. We create first snapshot of registry, and then, for example, we install some program, and then we create second snapshot and compare differences between them. Here is Relox tool for manipulate relocations. Here same Relox. Here I hold garbage files in this folder. Here are files needed to unpack virtualizer created by R.E. Wolf. Here is Scylla import reconstructor, newer tool than impreg, and this Scylla has also 64 x64 support. Here again Scylla. Here run as date. If you have trial based on the time, then you can fool the program using that tool. This works similar as changing a date here in the right corner. The next is Rewolf Virtualizer Protector. Here is RE Hacker, Res Hacker to manipulate resources of file. Here tutorial, full tutorial by Lena about reverse engineering. Here are the screenshot of the most popular exe protectors. Resource tuner, similar to Res Hacker, but Res tuner is quite new one. The next is Temida protector, again Temida protector, all these scripts. Unpacking collection tutorial from Tuts for You, UPX Packer, Packer and Unpacker at the same time. Here is plugin manager for x64DBG. Here is API logger if you want to see with which API our program is connect. We use that tool. Here again, Xlogger. Here is CFF Explorer. As I said, I use this tool instead of Lord PE. Here is my keygen written to the game Tiberian Sun. Here art team tutorial. I found this tutorial very useful. I learned from it how work imports. Here is trace from file which was created by OliDBG that I traced the code. Here are my programs written by me. Here, same as here, the decompiler, the obfuscator for .NET files. Here uTorrent to download files from internet. Here Yoda protector, very old one. Here manual for Scylla height, a plugin for x64DBG. Here Titan height, I use this tool to hide debugger from the process. Here Mega Dumper, I use this tool to dump a memory of .NET file. Swift Player here, program I use to launch Flash videos, manual imports. Sometimes I use this instead impreg and Scylla. Here CMD, a command line, run as administrator, that indicate that shield on the icon. There is some trick. If you want to launch the CMD exe, you can just press Shift, right click, and from context menu open command line here. Click. You can do this in any place of window. Here is CMD disassembler, CMP disassembler. I use this tool to compare two files. But recently I switched from this tool to HXD because HXD has more options, and this is also HXD as a hex editor, not only compare the files. Here is my code blocks editor and compiler. I am writing here C++ program. For more complex program, I use Visual Studio. And here is Bimax, a loader. Same as here or here. A great loader creator. Here in the right upper corner we can see CMake installer. Below x64 DBG manual. Below screenshot of the most popular x64 DBG plugins with description, what are they make. Here is complete Pentium instruction set. You can, if you don't know what current instruction make, you can check them here. They are ordered here by opcode, and also they are ordered here by the name of instruction. You can see here is instruction in the middle, sorted in alphabetical order. And here ordered by number, the opcode. 0, 1, 2, and next. Here is Temida installer. Here is the tree of API created by Impreg. Here is Visual Studio, editor and compiler from Microsoft. And here is VM Protect exe protector. Very popular nowadays. I use this, what you can see, I use Windows 7, and this Windows 7 is launched on virtual machine called VirtualBox. I have also other virtual machines for other operating system, but the toolset is similar on them as here. Okay, I think that will be all. Have a good day and see you next time.